excited to have you here with us today. And in the next couple minutes, we're just going to tell you a little bit more about our college and what we have to offer. So my name is Kinsley Frady. I'm an ambassador here. I am a junior studying animal science, and I have a concentration in bioscience.
Hey everyone, my name is Selena Menard. I am a junior this year studying agriculture, leadership, education, and communications with a concentration in communications. And I am from Greenville, Tennessee.
Hey y'all, my name is Megan Mills and I'm an animal science major with a pre-vet concentration. And I'm a junior this year and I'm from Loudon, Tennessee.
All right, so here at the Herbert College of Agriculture, we offer a variety of majors. So pretty much anything you might be interested in studying, we have a program here for you. Personally, like I said, I'm an animal science major. And within those majors, we have 4 different concentrations. And then in the other majors, we have concentrations listed with those as well. So if you're interested in leadership, we have our agricultural leadership. If you're interested in education, engineering, forestry, plant science, wildlife and fisheries science, we have that here for you as well. So pretty much anything that you might be able to find at another school or here on main campus, if you're interested in agriculture, we can combine that for you here at Herbert. Plant science, wildlife and fisheries science, we have that here for you as well. So pretty much anything that you might be able to find at another school or here on main campus, if you're interested in agriculture, we can combine that for you here at Herbert. So the cool thing at Herbert is that our advisors are also student success advisors. So not only are they here to help you plan out your classes, your semesters for each year, but they're also here to make sure that you're staying on track in your personal life and with your internships and jobs or anything like that as well. So if you have any questions about your classes, you can set up an appointment with them any point throughout the year. Or if you just want to sit down and talk to them about what's going on in your life, you can do that as well. So they really want to maintain a connection with you to make sure that you are being helped in the best way possible throughout your time at Herbert.
So another really cool thing that we offer at Herbert are our first year studies classes. And so those span across the different majors. And basically those type of classes just give you a good introduction into your major. So for my major, I took Animal Science 100. And so it was a great opportunity to get to hear from industry leaders and people who also majored in animal science when they were in college. And it was also a good opportunity to meet some of my peers too that I would have classes with throughout the rest of my time at UT.
So as a freshman, you have the opportunity to be in the Living Learning Community. And so what that is it is a floor in Magnolia, and it's all full of boys and girls that are all agriculture majors. And so what that allows for every student in the LLC to have is a good study base, but it's also good to have lifelong friendships. I know for me personally, I didn't really know anybody coming to the Herbert College of Agriculture my freshman year. And being able to be in the LLC with Kinsley and a bunch of other people, I have made lifelong friends that I will have after graduation. So to be in the LLC, you get to be in a team building class, and they go on monthly field trips. They go everywhere from the Department of Ag to corporate Chick-fil-A. They go on whitewater rafting trips. Really anything that they want to do that builds both their professional and their social life. They get introduced to all of the different majors, all the different concentrations. They also get to see all of the clubs that we do have on campus. It's a really good opportunity for freshmen. It is one of the best programs that I have ever been in at the Herbert College of Agriculture. Brand new residence hall, you get to move in early. There's really no bad things about living in the LLC. So if you come to the Herbert College of Agriculture, I would definitely encourage you to try out the LLC.
All right, so studying abroad. Here at Herbert, we have a ton of students that study abroad. We find it very beneficial, not only for you personally, but also for you academically. So we have the option to be able to do joint programs with other colleges in other countries. So you can get course credit, or you can just get experience and research experience with faculty members if you choose to do one of those programs. So for me, I actually did a 2-week program in Costa Rica with an organization called Vita Volunteers. We had an international partnership with them at UT. And I was able to spend 2 weeks traveling to different communities in Costa Rica, participating in spay and neuter clinics, which I have done here or been able to assist here in the US. But it was really unique to see how that was different in another country. And also just getting to know the doctors in another country as well, and hearing about their experience and what a day in the life of a vet looks like for them. So that was a really cool experience for me. We have programs that can last for 2 weeks, like the one I did, all the way up to a year in another country. So if you don't think that you can fit a semester or a year-long program into your schedule, you can always opt for one of the 2-week programs. Or if you think that you might go to graduate early and instead you're just going to do a month or a semester-long program in another country, that's also an option. So the Smith International Center here at UT was started by a UT alum, Donnie Smith. He was the ex-CEO of Tyson Foods. And him and his wife have a project going on in Rwanda right now. But their main goal is to have students trying to benefit other countries and help them progress in agriculture. So they are willing to provide scholarship opportunities to help students to get their program that they want to do. And they'll also provide guidance and leadership on how to do those programs as well.
Yeah, so I also had a study abroad experience, but it actually wasn't through the Smith International Center, like the coursework that I did. It was actually for my Spanish minor that I have. And so with that, I spent a month in Costa Rica. And one thing, though, that I really appreciate about the Smith International Center is that they still provided a scholarship for me to go on that study abroad. And so even though it wasn't necessarily an ag program, they still saw that I was a student who was dedicated to my coursework in the Herbert College of Agriculture. And so they still wanted to help me with that. And so I also have the International Agriculture and Natural Resources minor. And so that's something, if you ever think that you would want to do things internationally involved with agriculture, I would definitely look into that. They have all different components to it, but one of those is a study abroad experience. And so with that, you can either study abroad or you can take 2 language credits. And so in addition to that, they have just different coursework that spans across all majors. And so you can take courses that are more focused on ag business or more focused in agriculture and natural resources. And basically all of those classes just have an international component. So it's really nice to get that experience. And as a lot of our other coursework is, it's hands-on and you get some really cool experiential learning with those. So we also have some honors and scholars programs that are specific to the Herbert College of Agriculture. So in addition to the university-wide honors and scholars programs, we have got 2 specific scholars programs that are on our campus. And so the first one is Herbert Scholars, and that's an endowment from Jim and Judy Herbert. And basically it just offers $5,000 to 5 students, and they do this every year. And so that $5,000 can go to help with intern experiences. And so the $5,000, it can cover pretty much anything that has to do with your internship, whether it's housing or transportation, things like that, because it's just really important to Jim and Judy to be able to provide students with these resources so they can go out and focus on their internship. And so the second scholars program that we have is Farm Credit Scholars. And so that is through Farm Credit themselves. And with that scholars program, you get to take courses in food and ag business. And so in the end, you come out with a minor in food and ag business. And they do so many cool experiential learning programs as well. And so you get to interact with industry leaders, and because Farm Credit, of course, is a company that spans across the nation. And so you just get to work with them and meet former scholars and just people who are involved with Farm Credit and with the industry in general. And so we also have a lot of undergraduate research going on. So we are the land grant university for the state of Tennessee. And that basically means that we get money from the government to do research and make advancements in agriculture. And so we constantly have things going on. The majority of your professors will be doing research throughout the year. And so that's something that you can get involved with as early as your first semester at UT. And so I would say just ask your professors, get involved with them, and try to form relationships with them, and they can definitely hook you up with some great research opportunities. And then also all of our grad students that are doing research, they're constantly looking for help. And so just any research that can be found in your major, you can definitely find a program to help out. And so last but not least is the ambassador program. So Kinsley, Selena, and I are all ambassadors, and that's basically just a fun group that we have that we get to give tours and go to college fairs and just educate people on the Herbert College of Agriculture. And it's a really fun way to meet new people and make new friends at the University of Tennessee. But you also get to interact with new vols and people who are looking at coming to the university. And you get to make cool webinars like we are right now.
So at Herbert College of Agriculture, we have a lot of student life and organizations. All of these opportunities, they benefit you as far as like your soft skill development. They give you a lot of networking opportunities. I know the Pre-Vet Association, they bring in people that actually work in the field, and they come in and they talk about their life, they talk about their day-to-day. So it's really cool. A lot of our organizations do that. Leadership, there's a lot of opportunity for leadership inside of the organizations, resume building, and a lot more benefits. So just on our campus, we have over 30 different organizations to choose from. Overall, on the University of Tennessee campus, we have over 500. So there's always a place for a vol to be involved. Personally, I'm involved in Collegiate 4-H and FFA. I'm involved in Sigma Alpha, Professional Agriculture Sorority, the Ambassadors, and NAMA. So even though I'm not a business major, I'm still allowed to be in NAMA. And so another cool thing about our program is that if you're not a certain major, you can also be involved in all of their clubs. So if you're not a forestry wildlife major, you can still be involved in the Wildlife and Fisheries Society, the Wildlife Disease Club. If you're not animal science, but you still want to be in block and bridle, you can do that, livestock judging. Really, the opportunities are endless here at Herbert.
All right, so while we do have a lot of fun clubs and organizations to get involved with, we also spend a lot of our time in the classroom, so we try to make that as fun as possible as well. So within each of our majors, we have a ton of experiential learning. As an animal science major, for me, that looks like doing a bunch of hands-on labs with animals, whether we're in our arena on campus, or whether we're right across the river at JAR2, which is our Johnson Animal Research and Teaching Unit, or whether we're just a couple of miles away at one of our dairy or beef farms close by. We're always trying to get hands-on learning. So I know that goes for our ALEC majors. They get cameras to record whether it's videos or little projects throughout the semester. Our plant science students work in the greenhouse. Our forestry students are going off campus, and they're also working with trees on campus. And then our biosystems engineering majors, they have a senior design project. So they get a problem or a task to solve at the beginning of the semester, and they make a design or a product to hopefully help fix that problem by the end of the semester, and they get to present that as well. So on the Herbert campus, we do have a 12-to-1 student to faculty ratio, which is pretty much unheard of in a big SEC school such as the University of Tennessee. So that means that for every 12 students, there is one faculty member that will overlook those students. So on main campus, that student to faculty ratio looks a little bit more like 16 to 17 to 1, which is still really good. So we take pride in our small classes. There are some classes that are larger and are in a larger lecture hall, but those are usually broken up into smaller labs throughout the week. So for me personally, I have a reproduction class right now that has about 50 to 60 students, and we're broken up into a lab to where we get to work at a smaller group with our friends so that we can do our dissections in a smaller group and not be worried about so many people around us. And that way we still get some one-on-one time with our professors and TAs as well. So we have a bunch of facilities to make sure that we can accommodate these experiential and hands-on learning opportunities. So here is a lab that is pictured. Here are some of our faculty members doing research. The majority of our faculty members, if they have a project going on, you can always email to ask if you can get involved in one of those opportunities and just see what they're doing. A lot of our students are able to get published before they graduate. So that's another cool opportunity for students to work in the lab. Here's one of our ambassadors, John Calvin. He's a food science on the pre-professional track. So he is getting to work in a lab right here and getting a lot of experience that he might choose to do if he were to go on to med school or anything like that. This is one of our greenhouses. So we have a ton of greenhouses on campus where we have research going on, as well as volunteer opportunities and also classwork. So a lot of our classes are held in the labs or greenhouses. So I personally have not had a plant science class in the greenhouse, but I am signed up for one next semester as an elective. So I'm super excited to be able to learn a little bit more about plants and be able to spend some time in our greenhouses on campus. Here are some students working in a lab as well. It looks like they are planting some plants. So we actually had a really cool plant drop last semester. And so that was our plant science students, and they started out these little plants from seeds, and they grew them until they were large enough to give out to students. And then we attempted to set a record of how many or how long it took to give out 1,000 plants to students on Head Walkway on main campus. So that was a really cool program that our students got to take part of if you were in that plant science class. Here's another one of our ambassadors working in a pig processing lab. This lab is taking place at JAR 2, which is right across the river from our campus. So that is within walking distance. And here they are learning how to ear notch, they are castrating, they are cutting needle teeth, and they are trimming the tails. So a really cool thing that I personally got to take part of, and I had never done anything like that before. I didn't grow up around pigs or have the opportunity to do that when I was younger. I know some people did if they grew up on a farm, but for me, it was a first time experience, and it was so much fun. It's probably one of my favorite labs to date. And if you've never heard a bunch of squealing piglets together, it's definitely something to experience. It's unlike anything else you've ever been through.
So one of the good things that we get to come out with when we graduate is just the experience and the brand of being a Herbert student. And so whenever you go out to meet employers and just people in the industry, they recognize if you have graduated from the Herbert College of Agriculture at UT, that you really know your stuff within the industry. And that's something that's so important to me because, at UT, we always like to talk about how we're a big orange family. And so that just stretches so far into the industry and just beyond your college experience. So whenever you're out talking with people, if you've got on a Tennessee shirt or a hat or something like that, people recognize that. And especially if you get to talking about agriculture, there are so many people that you can have shared experiences with. And even if they graduated from UT in an ag major, like 40 years ago, you guys still have shared experiences, which I think is just really cool.
In my personal experience, being a Herbert student is better than I even could have imagined when I came here. I knew that I was in for a treat when I decided to come to UT, but I didn't know how much fun I was going to have and the opportunities that were going to be presented to me. So I lived in the LLC my freshman year, and I got to know a lot of really great people outside of my major as well as in my major. So a lot of my best friends now are actually people that I lived with my freshman year, and I've gotten to grow closer with them, as well as getting to know so many other people in clubs and organizations that I'm involved with, like the Ambassadors or the Pre-Vet Club. And then also getting to make connections with your faculty members who are hopefully going to help network you after graduation to jobs and internships that you hope to do in the future. So I think that similar to what Megan said, people recognize UT as a big school. There's a lot of UT alum out there that you might not even know of or that you didn't know went to UT. A little fun story about me, I actually went to Puerto Rico last summer, and I was walking around Old San Juan with some of my friends, and out of nowhere, I'm wearing a Tennessee hat, and I hear someone shout, "Go Vols." And I'm like, wow, that's random. And I look across the street, and there was another guy in a Tennessee hat who I had no idea who it was, and we weren't even in Tennessee or in the States. So we were in Puerto Rico, and it's just really unique to have someone that recognized UT and was able to share in that fun experience of being a UT fan.
So with being a Herbert student, I think that one of the biggest things that has came out of it for me is just all of the different opportunities that our students have. I know for me personally, I have had 2 or 3 jobs in the college, and I've also had I've had 2 internships internally and at the Herbert College of Agriculture. And being able to have that opportunity to get that experience at such a young age has really made me realize what I really want to do with the rest of my life. And being able to show everybody what college students are capable of and the opportunities that we have here are endless for our students. I think that's my favorite part.
All right, so we're going to end with our little Q&A session. So if you have any questions for us, feel free to ask us, whether it's about Herbert or just general college questions. If you think of any after this that you wished you had asked, you can always email herbert@utk.edu, and someone will get back to you as soon as possible with the answer to that question. Thank you for joining us.